You join me in the jungle. Not really. This is actually somebody's back garden. And we're in the middle of nowhere, in the Dorset, Somerset, Devon borders. And I got contacted by somebody who watched my barn find episode of the Volvo and said, I've got something for you, Johnny. My late father loved cars, had loads of them. And I realise he's still got two that I've never done anything with. So do you want to come over and have a look and help me dig them out? So what we're going to look at today are two cars. One's indoors, one's outdoors. They're both bubble cars. Beautiful, rare things from an era in the 50s when post-war Europe was in a bit of financial trouble. People wanted mobility, they wanted a cheap vehicle that wasn't a motorbike. So in that hedge somewhere, I believe, is a Messerschmitt bubble car. Beautiful thing. And in this barn, an actual barn, is a BMW Isetta, semi-dismantled. So two cars, one outside, one inside, and we're going to dig them both out today. Welcome to the Late Break Show. So this is Dean, and Dean's, this is where you grew up, isn't it? This place?
It is, yeah.
A beautiful place, I have to say, the view's amazing. And your dad, your late dad, was a bit of a tinkerer, should we say?
He was an engineer turned tinkerer, yes.
Yeah.
He was desperate for a workshop to put old cars and anything engineering in, you know. He built this on his own. He used old BT telegraph poles.
Is that what they are?
Yeah, and somehow put this up himself. I don't really know how he did it. I was into cars in a very different way.
Yeah.
So to me, it was all about the speed and all that kind of stuff. He wasn't interested in any of that. It was all, what MPG can I get out of it?
Yeah.
Can this old car that someone said is no good or written off, can I take it off them and bring it back to life?
Right.
It wasn't just cars, it was anything. So when he was younger, built robots. He was into boats when he was younger. Once I came along, yeah, there wasn't the finances for the boats. But then as we got older, he got back into the boats again. So then it was boat engines and yachts and trying to make things easier.
Yeah.
So we used to go canoeing.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He put a little motor on a canoe.
That's not canoeing anymore, is it?
Petrol engine, and a long shaft and a prop at the back. No, it's not canoeing anymore, but that makes it easier though, doesn't it?
Of course it
does.
does.
You don't have to row. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the bubble car thing, how did that come along?
I think it probably would have been just that it was an engineering oddity.
Yeah. There's two bubble cars, one in there, one in the hedge.
There was four. One of them's an Isetta, one of them's a Hilux, and there's the Messerschmitt.
Oh wow. We're going to do the one in the barn first, so let's start unearthing the Isetta.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be stuck.
Don't rip it off.
There we go, it moved.
There's some stuff leaning against it. I think it's a boat oar. Yeah. Just coming out now. There's a Renault Megane coupe up there.
There should be some lights as well. There you go.
So, your dad died in
2017.
2017,
yeah.
So just over 3 years ago. And we've got here, this is an amazing scratch-built Aladdin's cave.
It didn't always used to look like this.
We're going to start pulling out the bubble, which is in the corner behind Dean, actually. If you can you just see? And if you don't mind, if it's genuinely scrap, we'll put it outside.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you're probably thinking, Johnny's got his fleece on. You know what this is. This is my BFF, barn find fleece. It's very important when I barn find, I wear a barn find fleece.
I thought I recognised it.
It's the BFF. I think we're going to be moving so much stuff that you'll get a bit of a sweat on in the next hour.
I think that's quite likely, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? As a kid with a BMX,
oh yeah,
I'd kill for that.
Perfect ramp.
Oh, we were only talking about broken wrists a minute ago. You want broken wrist, BMX, one of those in the back garden, job done. Bubble cars have become so kind of popular because they're so quirky, and they defined an era.
Yeah.
Pre the Mini, because basically the Austin Mini killed the bubble car.
Did it?
The bubble cars came out in the early mid 50s. That was like the late 50s was the boom time for a cheap car that you could mobilise a family in that wasn't a motorbike or a motorbike and sidecar. So you had a roof over your head. This car, and I can tell you now, that is a BMW Isetta from the side,
it?
the aperture of the side window. That saved BMW. BMW was
Really?
close to bankruptcy, and they bought that design under license
Yeah.
from a company in Italy called ISO.
Right.
Who
Who's
made-
ISO, Isetta?
Isetta means small ISO.
Oh,
But
okay.
ISO used to make white goods in Italy, and they also made cars. One of them was called the ISO Revolta, which was actually quite a nice...
A Revolta.
Yeah, Rivolta.
Wow.
But it was an amazing car. Well, the Isetta was made under license from the Italians, but it meant that BMW could start selling an affordable car, because all the pre-war cars that BMW made were really big, exotic,
And no one had the money
sporty,
back then,
and nobody
so-
had any money after the war.
No.
So they were kind of redundant. Everywhere I look, I see something interesting. That's a bit of boat, isn't it? This was not something I was expecting to find. A new in-box
No,
sea scooter. Look, it's brand new.
I will use that.
There you
Wow,
go.
I had no idea.
Who needs broken bubble cars when you've got a brand new submersible scooter thing?
That's going in the back of the car for sure.
That is not toilet. That increasingly rare car, and so that is an Isetta, very similar to the Heinkel bubble car with the front opening door. And I had a Heinkel years ago. Weirdly, I swapped a really nice Mark I Granada for a Heinkel, and I've probably told this story before, but the Heinkel was in quite good condition. I ended up selling it to a guy who answered the advert for it in the Loot. This was sort of early days of the internet. And the guy that bought it had a very recognisable voice, and it was Micheal Barrymore, the was then very famous TV presenter of game shows and stuff. And I sold it to him and delivered it to his house the week of his mum's funeral, and I think a couple of weeks before the trial, for him being put on trial for murder. Never a dull day.
I haven't been in here because it's a strange place for me to come.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the cars I used to have, when this wasn't a total mess, would come up here, and Dad would help me fixing them up.
Yeah.
So that was how I remember it. So to see it like this,
It's a bit sad.
and it's obviously you guys are here, so it's different.
Yeah.
When I come up here, I'm on my own, and it just feels a bit melancholic.
Yeah.
It's, you being here has helped kind of. It's not an insurmountable task. It's just one you don't want to start.
It's the emotional weight of it.
It is. It's odd.
It's not the fact that you couldn't, because you know you could. Thank you for letting me help you do this, because barn finds are always really exciting. So Dean, you think that this car is complete?
I'm sure it's complete.
It's complete but dismantled.
Well, there's the door.
There's the front door, yeah. Okay.
It's been in here, it has to be at least 30 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You went to school in one when you lived in London?
In London, yeah, in a bright yellow one.
And you moved from London to here when you were 7?
Yeah.
Pedal
They
bar.
look like pedals
That's
for
a
a
pedal.
small car.
Yeah, that's a pedal. Look at that cast aluminium as well.
It is. Is that a VIN plate there as well?
Oh, yeah.
It is. Know that.
Manufactured Isetta of Great Britain Limited. Type Isetta 300. It's the top of the range 300cc. They did
Wow.
a 250, they did a 300. They also did a four-wheeler, but we won't go into that detail now.
So it has aircon and parking brake. And
Yeah, it's got
lane
yeah,
assist.
It's got cruise control, lane keeps. It's got launch control.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
thought so.
So yeah, look, here we go. Made Brighton, Sussex. So it's British. It'll be right-hand drive. Not that it matters, because the difference between left and right-hand drive in a bubble car is there or there. That's the steering wheel. It's either on the door that side or on the door that side. I presume it's right-hand drive because it was made in the UK. It would be weird if it wasn't. And you can see the chassis of these, tubular steel, and the single skin panels were just tacked on to this tube. So there's a tube front, and then there's some tube, I think, going down the side, and then there's some tube at the back. I've got to ask, Dean.
Go on.
What are you going to do with this? Have you thought? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to restore it? Or have you not really thought that far?
It's odd because being up here, You know, emotionally it's a little bit odd.
Yeah.
To actual items, I don't have a lot of emotional attachment to them.
Yeah.
I guess I'm waffling. The answer is I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
So
it's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah.
I can't see myself driving it, but I don't know.
I've found a number plate in it. Presumably it is the number plate for it. I don't know. It's pre-reg, so it's pre-63.
EPL.
Yeah, visible panty line.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Does it?
Whether it's this car or not, it does ring a bell.
The VPL Isetta.
How could you forget that?
580 VPL. What a great number plate.
That is a great number plate.
Don't know if you know, but I do a podcast every Monday called Smith and Sniff with my friend Richard Porter, Sniff Petrol. It's quite a successful podcast. So what you've got to do is just tune your podcast machine into Smith and Sniff. It's on Acast and iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music and loads of others. It'd be great. That is fantastic. 4-band radio recorder. This is the engine cover because it's air-cooled single cylinder, obviously.
Mint.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. We found an exhaust unit. Whether it's for the Isetta, it is in the Isetta.
Or a big mower.
Yeah. This and the Heinkel had the whole front of the car was the door. It was a one-door car. It's not often you can say that. That is, there we go. There we go, look. Now the BMW badge is missing. And is the number plate VPL? No.
No.
Me. So VPL is not this plate. I wonder if VPL's out there. It's actually really light. I mean, the whole car is, if I use it's beautiful, isn't it? These two little creases that went around there. Some of them were two-tone. Oh gosh, that's such a cool, I mean, we'll see if we can find the headlights. The headlights went out on the wings here. That's what these holes are for. I mean, I haven't even checked that this is a 3 or a 4-wheeler. It might be a 4-wheeler. We'll have to have a look. If it's a 4-wheeler, super rare.
And what about this roof, the sunroof?
They all had fabric soft tops, fabric sunroofs. And actually the condition, the metal on the top is pretty good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Full curb weight, 350 kilos.
There's no way. Is that all?
That is all. The one out there, significantly lighter again. I think the Messerschmitt was under 1/4 ton.
Wow.
And it would do 56 miles an hour. This would do 53.
I would not want to do...
This is 13 horsepower.
Would you drive this at 50 miles an hour?
I drove my Heinkel
on the road
at 25 miles an hour, so less than the 30 limit that I was in. I was in a city. I was terrified.
Yeah.
It was a cross-ply, they 10-inch, I think they're cross-ply 10s, and it tram-lined like you wouldn't know. Call me a party pooper, but I've got to get on my knees and check whether it's a 3-wheeler because I can't bear the thought of not knowing. Three wheels on my wagon. That is the seat, right? That's brilliant, you know.
And horsehair, apparently.
It is. It feels really coarse, yeah.
And it's still.
But he put it up there because he knew that the mice would get it if it was down here. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, Sugar Plum Fairy.
Good.
Oh, the body's unbolted from the chassis, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, bums. Isn't it great, though, to see? You just don't often find true barn find cars like bubble cars. You just don't really, of this era. And the bubble car era was 50s. The Isetta was made till 62. The Messerschmitt slightly later, I think 64. But by 1960, the bubble car era had pretty much burst because of the Mini. The Mini came along in 59, revolutionised small, nippy, more roomy transport and killed all of these beautiful contraptions. So these really define an era where they were colourful and quirky and weird. And I kind of love that. Do you know what's weird? I don't actually like Minis that much. So I blame the Mini for being too good and killing all this stuff off. Although the Mini is a fantastic car to drive. Okay, so we know it's a British made car because of that VIN plate, but now it looks like it's a left-hand drive car because that is the gear shifter, which is bolted to the inside of the wheel arch. So the driver must have sat on the left, So I don't know whether this is quite an early UK Isetta. It's great, isn't it?
It is. Now you can see it.
Now you can see what it's supposed to look like.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. We've got a hitch. We've got a hitch. Oh, bum. Oops. That'll be the engine then.
It's a bit tight.
This will be the first sunlight it's seen.
Oh, for 30 years.
Since the 80s.
At least 30 years.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that we're just picking a car up and walking out with it? Lovely spring morning.
Up there?
There. You can actually see, now that it's out in the sun, the original colour. Look. I mean, look, yes,
Needs a T-cut.
obviously it needs completely restoring, but you know what? It's not hideously rotten.
It's not. Surprising.
It is surprising. And it's a car which is worth enough to restore, like someone will want to restore it. Come and have a look at the chassis. Okay, now you can see the skeleton of the Isetta. Where it gets interesting is the back. So from memory, when BMW made these under license from ISO, they used their own engine because they're a motorbike manufacturer. They said, we won't use an Italian engine, we use a German engine. And I think this is you either bought it as a 249 or 247 cc or a 297. This is the 297 because it's the bigger engine, single.
Full power version.
Yeah, full power. And then you've got you can see the prop shaft comes off the side here.
Yep.
To the chain case, to the chain case, which delivers all 13 horsepower, because it's the bigger one, 12 horsepower for the 250. To the single rear wheel with the drum brakelet in here, and all these cables which your dad must have disconnected would have gone towards is that for the gearbox? Yeah, that's the rod for the gear shift, which is on the side there.
Yeah.
You're going to do some, yeah.
You're right, it's not very heavy.
No. It's weird to think it's a car. You could drive it with a motorcycle license because it's not strictly classed as a car. It's classed as a tricycle.
Because there's no reverse.
Because there's no reverse, just like a motorbike.
Right.
Whereas if you put reverse in it, it becomes a car, it has to be taxed as a car.
Yeah.
And they were built for a specific time to help out, in this instance with BMW, basically rebuilding a war-torn country and using its motorcycle experience coupled with trying to provide an affordable car for people. Tube frame, corrugated floor pan, and then this kind of swan neck for the suspension shock absorber mount.
I'd love to hear it running.
Oh, they're a proper ring ding ding, ring ding ding.
Because I just don't remember. I don't remember seeing this.
No.
Like that. I probably never would have, and I don't remember hearing it run.
That can just lift off. So, oh my gosh, we've basically just deconstructed the car. There's all your brake. I think it's cable operated brake. Does the suspension still work?
That's incredible.
It's great though, isn't it? Because it actually, if you decided to embark on a restoration, it doesn't take up much space, and you can break it down into its components really easily.
Yeah, you wouldn't need a normal sized garage that you can't put a modern car in.
You could
absolutely restore that.
You can restore that you could do a body off resto in a single garage.
Good. You
can lift the engine out without a crane. There's a lot to like about it. Go on, Dean, you can bench press it. Go on.
Do you want to do my back in
again?
It?
No, don't do your back in. There you go. Look at that.
Incredible.
Yeah. Can you see where that big, nice cooling turbine is? It says BMW in the casting.
It does.
You can see that when it's going along. You'll see that spinning round. Have you seen it just sitting there? It looks so funny. Look at it. It's just such a funny looking car. Yeah, there's a chest freezer in the corner. Dean thinks the headlights and some other bits are in there.
Yeah, that's where I'd put them.
Let's have let's have a look in there, see what we can find. Well. We've got a headlight in blue, taken off carefully. So I reckon we've got, and there's another one in this chest freezer. Imagine you've driven up the side of something and the first thing to catch is the side of your headlight because it sticks out on stalks. We've got the set of glass.
Well, I recognise that red anywhere.
Bonnet bumper.
That is Carmine Red.
What's that from?
That is from a front wing of a Astra GTE Mark 1.
Is it?
My Astra GTE Mark 1.
Oh.
Carmine Red, now Imperial Blue.
And that's the one that got away?
It's the one that got away, I'm afraid.
Well, never say never. When I say treasure chest, obviously I mean treasure chest freezer.
BBC Radio for Schools, introducing Science Extra. Autumn 1984.
Don't mess with Bernard's tape.
No.
Don't mess with that.
It's going to be strange to hear his voice if he still works.
Not relevant to the bubble car, Dean, but I bet this was yours. Toyota Hilux.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know. I think it's remote. Yes, it's remote control. Look how 80s that is.
Oh man.
Was that yours?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it's four-wheel drive. It's got a bloody diff on the front.
Yeah. Wow.
Well.
Haven't seen that in a while.
What is that from?
Is that the rear screen?
I'm gonna offer it up. Is that? Yes, it is.
And there's more glass, isn't there?
There's a whole stack of glass, which must be the rest of this car. I'm right in thinking that sat in there. I do enjoy a bit of carcheology. You click it open, like so, slide it back, and it goes over the other piece, and then back it together. It's a windscreen.
It is, with rubbers.
And it's got a rubber, and it doesn't look scratched. It's like a giant puzzle, isn't it? Well, it's not actually giant at all. Don't know what I'm talking about. A very small car puzzle. There. There's the front of the car. That and the headlights. And hopefully we'll find the wiper mechanism. I remember seeing these. I think these do go on here. Ah, there. Must be.
There it is. Yeah, it must be, mustn't it?
Yeah, seen better days, bless it. So that is, yeah, that's got a lot of fuel in it, you know, Dean. So
Are we going to try starting it up?
That would have sat, it would have been gravity fed, no fuel pump. It was bloody sealed it. Well, put it this way, the fuel tank doesn't leak because it would have leaked by now.
That's true.
So there you go, one less thing to worry about.
That's good to go. You've already got half a tank of fuel.
Yeah. If we find the steering coupling, it's complete. So no more bubble cars.
No more bubble cars.
Used to be an Opel Manta.
They did, a white one. Look up.
There's an old box of pears.
Go past the pressure washer and look up.
Ah!
I don't know what you're going to find in here, but
I don't know whether it's attached. I think as he lashed it down. Okay, so there's a rag, which means there could be a universal joint in here. But that looks familiar. Has that cast aluminium top, which that fits on.
right.
Which when you open the door, that comes out with the door. And you shut the door, comes back to you. Looky here, looky here. And there's a back unit. It's nice. Oh,
What do you think?
respect my authority. That's good.
It's quite a look.
But you only wear them when you're in the garage,
I can't
right?
see anything,
No,
but it's quite a look.
it's just for the garage.
Yeah. For your eyes only.
So this is definitely to fit the Isetta because that casting there and that square casting there, they fit together, which means it's definitely an Isetta wheel. So we found as many parts as we can for the Isetta. We know it's a UK car. We know it's left-hand drive. We know it's a 300cc. Wiper. Now we're going to stick this back in the shed with all the bits that we found together, and then we're going to go gardening in there because there's another bubble car in there. I suspect it won't be in very good condition, but who cares? Time to get some gardening implements out for the next bubble car. We are going to have to dig this one out. Don't look at what I carry around. Isn't it right, Dean, that You didn't know that your dad still had this?
I did not. Because whenever I'm here, which is hardly ever,
Yeah.
it's in the summer, and all of this is obviously all grown up, so you don't even know it's there.
And how long's it been there?
It's between 20 and 30 years, yeah.
Oh my
Probably.
gosh.
I don't know.
We're going to find out what's left of it. So I've got my extendable handled shears. Oh my gosh, come and look at this, look.
Here's my
Is
bike.
this your BMX?
It is my BMX.
Oh no. Look at the mag wheels. Look, because they're plastic.
They're good.
That is unbelievable bike rot. I have never seen bike rot like it. This was your precious BMX?
It was. I know.
You got some anodised gold going on there?
Yep. Trick.
Oh
I'm
man.
a bad person.
I've never seen such a rotten bike.
That's
Look.
incredible.
Look at it.
I swear it's not been in the sea either.
It's still got it's still got the number on it, the
That's
serial.
incredible.
Look at that's where the tubes went.
This is where it all went wrong.
You didn't lock it up.
Didn't lock it up. It does not. Yeah, I remember going to get that. Brand new, that one.
Oh shit, don't say that.
I
It makes
know.
me feel quite upset. What about the oars? Could we use the oars? My gosh. Can you see it yet?
I can.
I don't want to hit the bubble car because I think it might fall to pieces, judging by, oh my word. Look at it. Look at it.
That's sad.
Wow.
That is sad.
It's a dive site, this is, Dean.
Yeah.
When this was put here, it was probably not particularly valuable
No, not at all.
because that's why it was put here.
Exactly.
This was significantly less interesting to you than cider and girls and pre-internet clubbing.
Yes.
So,
And hot hatches.
and hot hatches.
Yeah.
Driving flat out in second
Yeah.
in a cav. The cockpit is complete. So tubular frame with thin steel skin. And in this case, a fabric roof, but the other one had the domed plexiglass roof, which side hinged like a cockpit. And then the passenger sat behind the driver.
This is glass.
That is a glass windscreen, which is intact. So we're going to try and let's try and uncover the front. There's the nose, look.
There's the wheel. Wow.
You see the nose?
Suspension. Oh, why didn't I do this 15, 20
What
years
a
ago?
hedge find.
That is quite a popping red.
Oh. Oh man, look at this. Look, the back has rotted off it. What?
Can't believe how thin this plastic is.
This is all Messerschmitt. Look, this is only going to come off once. Oh no. It is, it's still got an engine.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So they are in the car.
Mint.
Yeah, well, they're better than the side of the car. So I think that's a hubcap because they did have these sort of lovely dish wheels.
I think that's what that is.
I think that's a hubcap, and you found the front wings inside it. I remember seeing one at. There's a local steam rally every year.
I wish I had, because I might have actually saved this, but I just didn't. I wasn't interested at all.
You can't. Oh, Sugar Plum Fairy! I think I've just pulled it in half. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it really is rotten.
Yes.
Just because it's ruined doesn't mean to say it's useless, because I don't think it is useless. If you look round it, there are some bits on this car which could save another. Hella headlights. Don't know if they're for this, I presume, but I don't know.
Some parts.
That's an Isetta. It's an Isetta rear light. Yeah, they're really mint. There you go. Out of the bad comes good every time. Oh yeah. Are they the wing top? Hella. Look at those. Aren't they sexy lights? Look how cool they are. There you go. There's a badge. FMR.
FMR.
764 LPJ. Beautiful old plate. The same with the Isetta. These went through a time when they were largely worthless. They were a joke.
Yeah.
This was the driver's car in the microcar world because it had wide track. You see how wide the front track is?
This is the one all the steersmen wanted.
Yeah, because it's light.
The one to get.
It's light. It's quite quick. So its power to weight is pretty good bubble car wise. And it had a wide track so it could handle. And the less than 1/4 of a tonne, 10 horsepower, which doesn't sound much, but it'll do 50 something miles an hour. Believe me, that's a lot on tiny cross plies.
Yes, you would never want to do that.
I think 56 in this would feel like 156.
It would.
So when World War II ended and the Messerschmitt factory was banned from making aircraft because of the post-war agreement, Germany was obviously in pretty much industrial dire straits. People wanted more than motorbikes, and a chap called Fritz Fend, I think his name was, who was an aircraft aeronautics engineer, gave the designs of this to the Messerschmitt factory. He'd already made an invalid carriage, and this was an evolution of that to make sure that people could travel around with a roof over their head. Really cheap to build, innovative engineering, and obviously very, very, very good economy using a motorcycle engine. And this was the MFR Messerschmitt KR175 or KR200. Three-wheeler, but you could buy it as a four-wheeler, which was incredibly rare, quite expensive, 500cc, and it was known as the KR500, the Tiger. Not the Hillman Avenger Tiger, not the Sunbeam Tiger, not affiliated at all. And that car now is the holy grail bubble car, worth six figures. This is worth quite a lot now, not in this condition. This is, sadly, I think this one here, 764 LPJ, is not going to go back on the road again, but it could be a worthy donor. But the innovation of this was absolutely amazing. They made some 40,000 Messerschmitt bubble cars. It's a shame that this one is dead, but what an exciting experience to dig out something like this. I mean, I never thought I would ever find something this rare in a hedge, really. This is up there.
It is pretty heartbreaking to see it like this.
And I can imagine in summer this is all in bloom.
Oh, you can't see any of this because it all grows up. There's nothing to be seen.
Yeah.
And the worst part of it is, it's literally, wow, 3 metres from a barn where it would have been saved.
Where it could have been indoors, I know.
There's some great little parts still.
There's some really good parts.
That clock is just, so, is that art? I mean, it looks Art Deco, but it can't be.
It does.
Because it's the wrong era, surely.
Yeah, because this is 50s. Well, I didn't think I'd be stood inside a Messerschmitt bubble car with a shovel today. And that's the joy of these things. Unfortunately, this particular car is well beyond help, although I do think some of the bits can hopefully go towards saving another. I hope you've enjoyed this double bubble, barn and hedge find episode of the Late Break Show. If you want to see more of this, please tell me. And if you like this episode, click like. And thank you again if you're a subscriber and you support me through Patreon. Really, really kind of you. All that's left to say is if you know of any other vehicles like this that are in hibernation, they've been sat for years, they need digging out or pulling out, let me know. Go to the Late Break Show website and send me an email. Cheers. I'm just going to drive now. It smells very composty in here. Very composty. This is amazing, Dean. I mean, it's bonkers, but it's amazing.